Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brian. If you're new around here, and for returning subscribers, you look marvelous, baby. You look marvelous. That's what you get for subscribing, by the way. Free compliments at the start of videos. Now, I just want to say thanks to Dallas playing Sokoden 3. It's sending this to me. Actually, apparently, Cellular has been playing, and he's recommending an outstanding way to enjoy Final Fantasy XIV. Apparently, this is on controller. So I'm going to react to this video. Haven't seen it yet. I got it pulled up. So thank you very much, Dallas, for sending me this way. As I've been kind of getting caught up on the news and more, I thought this would be fun because if you guys don't know, as an avid controller player for this game, I'm thrilled. I just cannot wait to see what Cellular thinks. And apparently, just the title alone has me excited. And so if you don't know that I love the controller, absolutely welcome to the channel. Now, before we do dive in to the video itself, I'll go ahead and get it actually pulled up over here so we can hopefully get that aligned up and looking good for the reaction. I'll fix it if I need to in the meantime. So before I dive into the video itself, I want to say tonight, hanging out with Llama Todd on stream here on Ginger Prime. If you want to see me go for Savage, we have him on the podcast tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central. If you're not subscribed to Work the Game, you can also watch it over there. But I'm trying to push everybody over to Ginger Gaming Radio. That's going to be where all podcast lives and all that stuff is going to be happening going forward. So that will be the top link in the description. Thank you guys so much. When I started out 2021, this year I had a goal of hitting 50,000 subscribers on Ginger Prime, and we're just less than 2,000 away from that. So for all those who've hit subscribe, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, so blown away. I have something special for you guys at the end of this video. I'm going to be bringing it back, and hopefully you like what you see. Let me know if you do. Anyway, and then I had a goal of 5,000 over on Ginger Gaming Radio. We're already over 2,000. So it's making its way. Podcasting, especially within the YouTube ecosystem, is a slow growing thing, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I can't believe the support we already received. So thank you, Luke, and everybody who's actually hit the membership button over there for helping to support and keep the podcast funded. It is my passion. I've been podcasting for years on especially Final Fantasy, so I'm happy to kind of be able to bring that to a product to MP3. And if you guys don't know, you can search Epic Loot Radio or Crystal Core Radio wherever podcasts are found, except for Pandora. That's coming soon. Hopefully. It's been under approval for over a month. That's going to be rocking and rolling. So thank you. Also, thanks to Mystera and everybody who's hit the join button over here specifically. You guys have been amazing. I've been trying to make sure I get caught up on the loop. I found a couple of errors in how I share your names and things like that. So also those will be showing up. If you guys have any things that you want to see specifically that are member only, let me know. Did a couple of member only posts. They didn't really get a lot or any engagement. So I was like, well, we'll continue this dialogue as if that continues to grow. If you guys want to see something special for you guys, let me know. We can make that work out. I'm definitely game for what you guys want to see for me. That would be kind of maybe a little bit out of the norm. We'll see. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to share those thoughts at the start of this video. Let me make sure this is lined up correctly. Boo, 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 boo,
console,
boo, boo.
console.
14 console.
Pretty simple.
Console
I
loser,
played loads of FF14 on my PS5.
Yes.
Funny enough, performance-wise, don't set it to 4K.
Nope, do not do that.
Do not do
does
that.
one.
No, the engine,
Very shit.
engine not happy. So, the 1440p, and it works out great. Now, let's talk about the why.
The why. Why
For
play
me,
on console?
it is just a different experience in console and PC. Because for me on console, I am on the sofa. I'm, it's a bit more relaxing.
Yeah, it's very relaxing.
Maybe I'm lying down on my side.
You can totally do that.
Murdering my lower back on a chair, or whatever. But it's a different context of play, and it's also gameplay that's not happening on my work device.
Yes,
the notification machine.
Yeah,
and I there is a value in that, especially for a game like this.
100%. 100%. I've been saying this as a part of my psychological thing because I was like, could I learn on keyboard and mouse? Yeah, but why? I work on this device all the time. Playing on a controller is a huge separation. It's that mental shift in my day. Same thing. Like I don't have a PS5 yet. I'm hoping that Final Fantasy XIV comes to Xbox, comes to like GeForce Now, Stadia, like just come everywhere. It just sounds horrible in the wrong context. Man, I don't know why my mind went that way. I apologize. Only adults will get that one. All right. And yeah, like just the fact that you can kick back, relax, and play. I use also a chat pad, so I don't have to have like a full keyboard, so I can still type in chat and things like that. Huge advantage. Huge advantage.
Somewhere where you're getting no Discord beeps and no bullshit.
Yeah.
There's definitely a value in that. It's just like how people will have a home office. They'll do their work stuff in the home office, then they're relaxing stuff elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that for me with how I wanted to play specifically what the MSQ of this game is like. Yeah. There's that. Another nice thing, just PS5, it just works.
Yeah.
You just open the thing, and then it's there and it works and it's quick and easy and handy.
Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
There's a value in that, to be sure. Now, the thing people are going to be like, oh, wait, controls though. So I'm playing Ninja. The way it basically works, right? If you look at this image here, you have 4 sets of 4, right? So if you hold down R2, then your D-pad will be these. Your face buttons will be these. If you hold down Alt.
So I've said this in videos before, but guys, Yoshi P specifically has not patented this. He wants other people to use it. Like, he is doing this so it's open for everybody. Anybody can take this and run with it. And I think it's genius. And honestly, a real pro move by Yoshi.
Then these are your face buttons. These are your number pad. So for me, my rogue 3-piece combo is just here, here, and here with Death Blossom here. I've got a few utility and other things there. And then this is where controller works so well for Ninja.
Yeah.
And that is, I've got my 3 mudras here and then ninjutsu here. And that has actually helped me with Ninja gameplay so much. Because it is 4 buttons.
Yeah.
That system, at least from what I've experienced of it so far. Maybe it changes later.
No, he's good.
It all fits and plays real smooth like that. And then there's other accommodations they've made. So the way the camera, the follow camera and stuff all works quite well when you're there on a gamepad. If you wish, and there's one change I'd like them to make, and maybe it's a toggleable setting, I'm not sure. But you can press R3 to target lock onto what you're currently fighting, and it actually changes the camera.
Yeah.
So if you move to the left on your gamepad, to the left, it will move to the left, but it will move to the left centered around the NPC that you're targeting, so you circle strafe.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is whenever you pull back, you backpedal. And that can be really annoying for moving. It would be better if it just fully positionally turned you back. So maybe that is a toggleable option. I'm not sure.
So,
but it does actually.
When you're locked in, that's how you back up. But you do have the legacy control by default, which allows you to run, backwards rather than backpedal. But you can set the control up in terms of toggle with that aspect. Whether you want to run or toggle, but in locked on mode, it does have you back up. I have not found a way that turns you to run, because I think the idea is that changes kind of your mode.
Actually feel quite good and cinematic there, which is funny. Then the other thing is actually setting up your keybinds. You need to know how to do it, but once you do, it's real easy, because you just open your list of actions, you go to the action you want, you hit the button to bind it, then you hit the button on your pad, and then it's done. It works. So that aspect of the gameplay just works really well and easy. Now, that said, if I get any more abilities, I'll have issues. And I'll need to, swap my set. And so basically, I need to work out how far you can push it.
You can push it pretty far.
Weird Savage on basically every job.
Somebody said you can change from standard to legacy controls. Oh, legacy movement. Right, there is a toggle for it. That's fantastic.
Sick, nice. That's good.
So I'll need to work out a better setup for that. I mean, for me, it would be easy enough. I would just map the face buttons to abilities and then have the R2 be a modifier in that. So I'll have to see if that is supported and possible.
What default face button?
Or sorry, I would make these be default face button, and then if you hold R2, a different set of abilities. That's a bit closer to how I did it with World of Warcraft and gamepad.
I'm not sure. I think
for more buttons.
I don't yet know what he's talking about right here.
R1 just tap through stuff. Or hold L2 and R2 is also another set.
Yeah, and then you have the double tap.
I don't think there's a way to have the face buttons do actions, because I think you could. I don't know if you can maybe bind them, but because you have to use face buttons to navigate the world, I think. Maybe there's a way to bind it. I'm not sure. I've not really played with controller very much because
Oh yeah, there's an
I just
option to
haven't learned.
activate set 2 with LBRB. So that would
Oh
that'll
yeah,
make
that's
it
right.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so look, I'll need to get it refined a bit more, but at least for my current purposes, it's worked quite well.
Tweet
And there
at
are some
him.
things. Is
Tweet at
targeting
him,
harder?
please,
Yeah,
chat.
it is. But with how you end up doing
Please,
most of the combat,
It's a cellular my way.
And it's not like gameplay wise, it's so different from World of Warcraft, where a lot of what you'll be doing is like targeting loads of shit all the time. You don't have to do that as much in FF.
Man.
Like, there's cases where if you're playing like a bard, you'll want to multi-dot a load of people, but generally that's relatively a smaller case. You'll get away by using AoE substantially more.
Yeah.
And also
True.
you've got the enemy list, which means you do have you do have a single linear list of enemies that you've hit or in combat with. So you can just navigate through those instead of having to like deal with positional targeting, which is good shit.
Oh, yeah, nice. I guess, so other things then. With World of Warcraft, you can actually do a lot of this with the console port add-on. I'd highly recommend it. I've made multiple.
So I used it and I created a controller guide for WoW with console port because it was recently updated with Shadowlands to not have to require any additional software to use the native API. Honestly, worked decently. A couple handful of bugs. I was looking at like trying to put up the classes with different class guides for each one, but I just didn't like WoW. So
multiple videos in console port in the past. So yeah, you can do WoW in this way. I'm interested to, as I said earlier, make a full console UI and setup for World of Warcraft. I mean, obviously it'll be a PC HDMI onto a TV, because WoW's not on console.
Yeah,
but I'll do that, and I'll play through the Chains of Domination campaign just to see like how that compares to my post Garuda. Laughter comes from Matt. So I'll try that. Curious suspicion that FF will win because that's the game it's trying to win.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah. Look, the controls work. It feels smooth. You'd have to get used to things, but I got used to how the map works. The auto run stuff all works pretty well. Yeah. So overall, it's just a good, smooth thing. And then for me, it's just the experience. I think that playing this on console, with in my case, I've got at home a 65-inch Philips Ambilight. I didn't get Ambilight specifically. It's just it was a Black Friday thing a year ago. It was a deal that made sense. So it's not a mega high-end TV, but I mean it was 700 odd quid in a TV, so that's a pretty chunky TV, and it's a big TV too.
There's no LGCX like.
Sadly, no.
I don't I'm drawing a connection because I do the Epic Loot Radio podcast with Chaos Prime, and he used the word chunky when defining and describing Final Fantasy XIV story. So I don't. Maybe that's a really good. It just made me laugh, and I'm just the fact that he's describing that in that way just brought me back to the chunk in terms of what Chaos described Final Fantasy XIV story as. Anyway, continue on your day.
I look at those. I look at those like big, Linus-y LED or OLED panels. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But I can't justify the money. It's so expensive.
It's like $1,400 or something for one of the for the 6. That might be the 48-inch LGCX, which I'd absolutely love.
TV talk.
Chance, like, not a hope in hell.
Brought to you by Patreon.
Yeah.
Shit, like.
But yeah, so in that post-Garuda experience where a lot of it's the cinematics, the cutscenes, the sort of the big moments, that on a big TV, it just ends up being really immersive, really enjoyable. And I actually think that is how I am going to play Final Fantasy XIV MSQ.
Go for it.
I think I'm going to play it on PS5. And part of the reason for me is it is like a different mode of play.
Yeah.
It's a different mode of play. It's like saying, hey, you came home from work where, I do have a standing desk, but it's like, you're not doing this in any way that's similar to your work context.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a
100%.
totally different, separate thing. Maybe going to
It's important. It's healthy.
Some TV show, or instead, we play some
Just
FF.
relax.
So I actually think this is how I'm going to continue. And especially, the in-game cinematics and stuff get better and better and better over time. And I just think that
Yep.
for me, wanting to play at least the MSQ, like it is a big single player RPG, I think this is actually the format where I'm going to play it. And I'm sure that some of the WoW crowd will give me shit for this, because every time I talk about console port and that shit, they would give me shit for it. I mean, I don't know, a heroic raid with a mouse and keyboard and PC. This is just a different way of playing a different game. So
Yeah. That's what I think's
Works.
interesting. So I was just like, I could hear like the innate defensiveness and like, well, it's actually a fine way
We
to play.
see that
It's,
all
you
the
know,
time.
there's all of the reason
Why
for
play
it.
on controller?
Yeah, it's no one playing Ev's gonna go dumb console bitch. Like everyone could be like, yeah, that's the game's on console. That's how you're gonna play the game. It's designed with that in mind.
It's a huge
you've got all your
advantage.
movement settings. You've got your cross hotbar. You're
Yeah.
not fiddling around for ages. It's just designed that way. So like, go for it.
yeah, totally. So yeah, FF on consoles are a really good experience. It all maps onto the controller really good. It was smoother than I expected. And overall, I just found it to be highly enjoyable. I think it elevated my experience, and I would recommend it to other people. That's my thought on that.
All right, I have some thoughts that I want to share, guys. Thanks so much for being here with this. Oh wow, that is Final Fantasy's like Final Fantasy XIV has so many unfair advantages, and we talk about this in terms of content creation. We've talked about this over on Prime University. In fact, actually, I've got some videos that I'm working on to kind of refresh some new lessons for you guys over there. For those of you who are jumping into content creation, and yes, I do promise I will get some coding videos up hopefully here soon. But that's the whole point of that channel. But essentially, like we talk about unfair advantages, like, yeah, play to your, like, what are your strengths? What are the things that make you unique? And most people tend to look at their unfair advantage and not realize it's their unfair advantage. We talk about this, like, you could talk about like, you know, men content creators and women content creators. And it's that I see sometimes, I would call them boys, who bemoan female content creators and just say, hey, they're just using their body or just whatever. It's like, that's their unfair advantage. Like, you know, you put me in a female body and it's like, yeah, like, guess what? Like, there are things that are attractive to a great majority of people about the female form. You know, it's not shocking, not surprising. Now that opens up a whole door of debate of like what's appropriate, what's not. I'm not here to litigate any of that. What I'm saying is that, yeah, that's their unfair advantage. There's plenty of like disadvantages that come along with it. Same thing kind of, you know, in terms of men, like at Work to Game, Chris and I, the fact that there's two of us on the channel, that's our unfair advantage there. And so we talk about that. So 14 has many unfair advantages. It's on console and it's done well on console. It's interesting that it's also not on every console that it could be on. And when I say could, with the power of the cloud and with the power of Xbox, like it can still expand out to more areas with Oceanic data centers coming online. Like it's 14's growth has only just begun. We're only starting to see this kind of ramping up. And we're seeing that constantly with the server stress points. But the fact that it supports the controller, designed for it natively, it has the ability to scale much faster than a World of Warcraft or any other old MMO. Now, ESO and like has a case for it. Guild Wars 2, oddly enough, has a case for it, but we haven't seen Guild Wars to be bring in that native support in the long run. So we're gonna have to keep continuing waiting. And thank you, Shane, for hitting that subscribe button here just a couple minutes ago. A little pop-up notification for you in that regards. That's all well and good. What Bellular's describing is something I've been hopefully like evangelizing. Even Mr. Happy recently talked about how 14 works on the controller. And the fact is you can easily switch between the two, both the controller and the keyboard and mouse have their own UI element and setup. So you could literally like, you feel like playing on a controller today, or do you feel like playing on the mouse and keyboard today? Like the world is yours. You have a lot of flexibility, a lot of power there. And so as a controller player, and it's essentially somebody who's been putting out the controller guides to help teach people how to like transition to the controller itself, that's going to continue to be something I do here on the channel. And I'm excited to see other people actually checking it out because it is so good and it just works. And you can do the savage raids and all that right out of the gate. You're not going to have to sit here and struggle with that. So that's actually, this video is great. Welcome. And guys, if Bellular has any questions, feel free to recommend my content. I would be very flattered by that recommendation. But I'm going to wrap up. I promised you guys something fun, so hopefully you guys enjoy the end screen here. Yeah, I enjoyed making this, so hopefully you have fun with it. Guys, thanks for watching. For Ginger Prime, my name is Brian. I love you faces. I hope to see you in my next video, but until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with a clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.